Hello and welcome to today's Compass webinar. My name is Thea and I am from Marlock and I am a part of the Compass project. The purpose of the Compass project is to increase the level of a competent workforce in the maritime, primarily in small and medium-sized maritime companies. The project will help companies to create an overview of the various opportunities for an extended training of employees. In addition, Compass offers free competency plans for companies and training guidance for employees. The Compass project is supported by the EU Social Fund and is a collaboration between Marlock, Danske Maritime, and various educational institutions. Today, you will be introduced to Copenhagen Business School's Blue MBA, which is presented by the Queen of the Blue MBA, Irene Rosberg, who is a program director and executive MBA in shipping and logistics. She is the one who started the education in 2001, so she knows everything. You can also contact my dear colleague Kim Jørgensen, who is the project manager of Compass, and he can help you with the competence advice. And I'll ask him to put his email in the chat so you can contact him. And please write all of your questions to Irene in the chat. And once she's finished with the presentation, I'll pass them over to Irene. So lean back and enjoy the presentation. It's yours, Irene.
Thank you very much, Thea. First of all, thanks to Marlock for inviting me to do this presentation. It's great to be amongst the like-minded people, all the people within the maritime industry. I like to talk about the program with you in different phases. First of all, I want to tell you how this program was created, the reason behind it, what we have done, and what are the success factors of this program. And then, of course, I like to then go over the different models of the program. Just give you a brief view of what this program actually consists of. So first and foremost, the program. This is the Copenhagen Business Schools, as you know, is amongst the top 100 business schools in the world. And now, bearing in mind that there are about 15,000 business schools in the world, being a top 100 is quite an achievement. However, this program, this Blue MBA, has managed to reach the #1 position in the world for the past 5-6 years, a position that we are very, very proud of. The kind of the education that we deliver, which is so industry specific. Now, there are a few reasons for this program to be started from the beginning. And one of them, the major reason for this program to start was initiating this program was the industry realized that a lot of the people who are working within this industry are mainly practitioners. They are former chief officer or master mariners, and then after a while that they have been serving at sea, then they get to the shore side and they have a shore-based job, and then as a result they get into a management position where within this industry, which is such a global industry, there is a need for more than just the practical know-how, practical background. The practical background is of course fantastic. We have a great respect for our seafarers, and I think that without them this industry would have really been dead, and a lot of people would have been really suffering if it was not for the contribution of our seafarers to the industry. However, if you're working in a management position in a global industry such as the shipping industry or shipping related industries, you also need other skill sets. You need to be able to, for example, read the market. You need to be able to do an investment analysis. You need to be able to do a risk assessment. You have to be able to set strategy and implement a strategy. And therefore, the industry and the stakeholders in this industry realize that to do this, we really need to make sure that we enhance the skill set of the people who are sitting in management position within the shipping industry. And therefore, the Copenhagen Business School was approached and asked that to arrange for an MBA, which is fundamentally an executive MBA, but addresses the needs of this industry, looks at the challenges, developments within this industry, and make sure that it's translated into an academic program. And the idea was that the people from the industry with practical background will join this program, and the combination of their practical background and the management and financial and strategic know-how would be a very good combination to progress and make sure that their companies and the industry will stay afloat. So this is actually the reason behind the creation of this program. And the program started in 2001. I started with the program just about 6 weeks before the program was actually launched, and I've been with the program ever since. So why is this program so successful when you have 15,000 business schools? Each business school is providing 3 or 4 generic MBAs. And this program by itself has reached the #1 position in the world. And I tell you why that is. There are a few reasons for that. First of all, it's a very unique program. Its uniqueness is its relevance to the industry that we serve. So what we do with this program is we make sure that we are very vigilant, we are very observant of what is happening in the maritime industry and maritime related industries, and make sure that those situations are translated into our academic program, so that our people who are in the program are very much involved, their education is very much involved in what they are actually doing. It's very much relevant in what they are doing. It's very relevant to the industry that they are in. The program is also very current. By that, I mean that it's very up to date. That means that you don't really design a program, put it on a shelf and deliver it every second year. This is a program that it's very live. You really make sure that you move with the industry. You make sure that your participants are getting the know-how and information which is current, which is happening now. You're not educating people with the yesterday's know-how for tomorrow's competences. You really make sure that everything that you do is very current and people are staying up to date. That's another reason for the program to be successful. The other reason is it's the diversity of the student body. By that, I don't mean only the nationality and the gender, which everybody else is talking about. By that, I mean, of course, we have the nationality and gender diversity in our program anyway, because I mean, if you look at our current class, we have people from 20 plus countries, and we have 9 very competent women in the program. And they are in this program, these women, not because they are women, but because they are competent, they are qualified, they are motivated, and they happen to be women. So we are very proud of the diversity that we have. But what is more important for me when I compose a class is to make sure that people who are registered and join the class are from the different segments of the industry. That's the diversity which is really very much contributing to the dynamic of the classroom. So I make sure that all the people who are in this class representing all the segments of the industry, because the idea is that when you join this program, we want to make sure that you get a holistic view of the shipping industry, because we believe that it's not enough that a person is just an expert in one niche area. We want to make sure that people who have an expertise, they are #1 in their own niche area, also understand whatever else is happening in the industry around it. Because everything else which is happening around your niche area would inevitably have an impact in your niche area. And it's important that you understand all these things that are happening around you. So that situation, that desire is also reflected in our student body. We want to make sure we have a student body which has the ship owners, ship operators, logistic providers, freight forwarders, brokers, lawyers, financiers, equipment makers, name it. We want to make sure all these segments are represented in the classroom, because the combination of these segments and the dynamic provides a very good learning environment for our participants, because our participants not only learn from each other, from their professors and lecturers, but also a lot from each other. We have the holistic view of the shipping industry already presented in the classroom. So that's another reason for us to be successful. The other thing is the caliber of the professors and the lecturers that we bring into the program. Now, when we bring professors and lecturers to lecture and educate our participants, there are two things that we make sure that is really very, very highly important. First of all, they have to have the academic know-how. After all, this is a triple accredited business school, top of the line, #1 in the world kind of education. So therefore, it is important that our professors and lecturers have the academic know-how. But secondly, and equally important, is that these people also have the industry know-how, because we want to have people who lecture to our class, who speak the language of the industry, who speak the language of our participants, who are not, who can break the theories into practical situations to make sure that our participants who are coming from a practitioner background would be able to connect, identify, and understand the theory and the lectures. So therefore, that is also important for us, that our lecturers have industry know-how, because we don't want really to have people who don't know really how things work in practice in our industry to lecture to our participants. And of course, we have a very good network. We have a network which is, I believe, is second to none. And as you all know, network is a backbone of this industry. A lot of things are happening through networks. And of course, we provide that network to our participants. How do we do that? Of course, we do it through our student body. People are coming from all the different parts of the world, all the different segments of the industry, and then of course the network. The network is also provided by the lecturers and professors and the company visits and the events that we normally hold, and the other activities that we normally have to make sure that our participants are exposed to the best network in the industry possible. Now, back to the program. The program is a modular program. It's designed for busy individuals who are in this industry. And it has 8 one-week modules spread over the 22 months of the period of the program. So these 8 modules, 1 week, we wanted to have these like 1-week blocks, because also it provides good opportunity. We didn't want to have a weekend model, because we wanted to make sure that we have people from all over the world, and people should be able to join the program without really having a jet lag before they leave, you know. And also because it provides us with the possibility to have very good networking opportunities, having company visits, etc. So these 1-week blocks also provides for the participants to really bond with each other, to get to know each other, to really improve their relationship with each other and become a really very good team. So 6 of these 8 weeks is happening in Copenhagen, at the campus in Copenhagen. 1 week, for 1 week, we go to Germany. And for 1 week, we go to London, UK, London. In Germany, we go to Hamburg. The reason we go to Germany for one of our modules, which is model 4, is to make sure that we can also have the look at the port infrastructure when we are doing the model with our class in Germany. And also we want to make sure that we have insight from one of the biggest providers of the innovation within the shipping industry. And that during that week, we have a visit, we have a very comprehensive presentation from DNV, where they really do a lot of innovation within the ship design. And that's why we go to Germany. The reason we go to UK for our model 6, which is our finance model, is because so far, UK has always been the center of shipping banking, shipping finance. and also is the home of a lot of the big broker houses like Clarkson, for example. And we go to London because we want to make sure that we get the insight from these segments also too. We have visits from the banks, and we go for a company visit to the brokerage houses like Clarkson, and we make sure that we get that insight also. So this is the way it works. Now, all the work that our participants are doing throughout the models, every model that they do, everything that they, most of the models, once they do the models, they need the assessment of the models is based on a project that they do for their companies, they do for their work. So it's very important for us when we take in participants, they should have a job, because everything they do has to be related to their job. And if they have a job, then they have access to real data, they have access to real situations, they have access to real issues that they want to solve. And of course, for that, we will provide them with all the coaching, advice, help that they do those projects. So in other words, you really do, you kill two birds with one stone. You do a piece of your work, at the same time, you do a part of your MBA at the same time, and you connect these together. And we have expertise to help people connect these together. The last 6 months of the program is devoted to a project that our participants do. It's a thesis. It's a final project that they do. And that project is done on a strategic issue for their companies. And that is the research they do. And then later on, they defend it and they graduate. Now, if you want, I can go through the program step by step and just give you a little bit of a hint. I don't know how we are doing for the time. Yeah, I think I'll take about 5 minutes to go through this quickly, because I really like to have some time for questions and answers. We start the program with what we call a pre-MBA. The pre-MBA is because we want to make sure to give an introduction of the most important concepts and models of the for the people who have insufficient background in the finance and accounting, because a lot of our people, when they come to this program, they don't really have a lot of finance know-how. So we want to make sure they're prepared. This is an optional model. You can choose to do it. You can choose not to do it. And then, of course, then the real program starts. The model one has to do with shipping as a business and a market. This is an introduction to shipping economics, and we discuss the current issues of shipping, which shape the future of this industry. And we look at the supply and demand and a number of different things. And then, of course, during this model, this is also a model that serves as an introductory model, because it gives you a little bit on supply chain, a little bit on strategy, a little bit on operations management. But the focus of the program is on shipping as a business and a market. Look at the opportunities and threats in this industry. Our second model is the model which discusses the supply chain management. And we look at the different principles of logistic and supply chain management and the implication of the international shipping and logistics industry, and the implication of these sort of things, these principles on the international shipping and logistics industry. And we look at the importance of managing the end-to-end supply chain. So this is our model 2. Our model 3 has to do with the, we look at the international economics and market analysis. And of course, this is the model which introduces the formal economic models simulating the behavior of the shipping market. We look at the microeconomic theories. We look at the forecasting models. This is such a volatile industry. We want our participants to understand how to read the market, what is going to happen, and be able to do a forecasting model. We also look at the game theory during this model, and that is to understand how to read the competitors' behavior, how to read the customers' behavior. And this is the model that is our model 3. Our model 4, our week 4, the 4th week that we do this model, is a combination of two smaller models, which of course put them together in 1 week because they are each 2.5 days. And I wanted to make sure that the guy who's coming from Brazil and Chile doesn't have to travel 2 times to do this model, or Singapore or Hong Kong or China. So if we put them together so that the traveling time would be reduced. The first part of the model is we look at the role of the ship design as a response to customer demand. We look at what is the demand behind the shipbuilding to create the new designs, and how these designs are really impacting the different segments of the industry. For example, if you have been on a board of a triple E, you realize that for this vessel to be able to enter a port, you have to have like, which is, what is it, 17 meters draft, or so many meters of the key, the cranes have to be such and such a size. What are the implications of such a design on a port infrastructure, for example? Or what are the implications on the CO2 emission or the environmental impact, et cetera, et cetera? And how successful have these designs been to for the industry? The second part of this week is on maritime legal framework. And of course, we all know that the maritime business, shipping business, is a very regulated business. So during these 2.5 days, we want our participants to understand, have a basic understanding of the legal risks and liabilities when it comes to operating a vessel, operating a fleet, or operating a pool. So this is what we do during this model. And of course, mind you, I told you this is a holistic view of the shipping industry. And of course, we need to look at these sort of things as well. These are a part of the industry. These are the things that really impact our industry. And we need, if we are going to have a management position, we need really to make sure that we have that know-how. Our model 5 is on operations management and information technology. And during this model, we look at the operations management and IT and how they can contribute to the business missions and competitiveness of the company, and bring us operational benefit with and improve our performance. We look at the ways to do that. Our model 6, which is the model we deliver in London, is investment analysis, risk management, and finance. So of course, very important model. In this model, we present the basic theory and practical applications of methods of investment analysis. How do we do? How we use the theory of investment analysis in practice. How do we use the methods of risk management, and discuss how we can apply it in practice in our companies, in the work that we are doing. And we also look at the financing of the ships and shipping companies. So this is our model 6. Our model 7, again, is a combination of two models and two smaller models. Again, provided we do an international marketing, we focus on the marketing strategies and service providers, which the shipping companies are. And the second part is we look at the organizational structure, and we look at how structure can be improved. Look at the organizational behavior. Our model 8 is on managing strategy and change, and we introduce the theories of corporate strategy, discussing the sources of sustainable competitiveness, and we look at the formulating a strategy and how to implement this strategy. This model is actually the beginning of the work that we would do with our final project. And then, of course, it's our final project that we choose a topic which is of strategic importance to the industry, to the company that we are from. And we really do a very in-depth analysis we look at the industry, we look at the opportunities in this industry and threats in this industry. Then we look at our company, we look at our strengths and weaknesses and how we can really overcome our weaknesses. And we look at those weaknesses and analyze those. And then, of course, we finally come up with a strategic plan and how to implement it. The program also has a leadership element, which would discuss which is integrated into the entire program. It's in all the different programs, a little bit of a bit of a leadership element in all of those. And it's 6 days of leadership program. And it's designed to raise awareness of the participants, to introduce them to working in a leadership capacity, and they would be able to see how they can improve their individual leadership skills, their leadership when it comes to a team, when it comes to a company, organization, and when it comes to a global setting, which this industry is all about. I just had to rush through this because I don't have a lot. I have 4 more minutes, so please, if there is any question. I think that a lot of people want to know what is the cost of this program. The program costs 320,000 Danish kroner. The fee is divided into 4 installments at the beginning of each semester, so you don't pay the fee at the same time. You pay it on 4 installments, the last one being paid in 2023 for this intake. The intake is starting September this year, and hopefully by then the COVID situation has settled and the restrictions are lifted so we can have a normal life. I would ask Tia to please share my email with people. So if you want more information, please come back and write to me. We can always meet for a longer period and discuss matters further. Please.
Okay, thank you so much, Irene. Wow, it really seems like this education is a great combination of everything. Okay, so actually we have got some questions in. The first one is if you can tell us more about the value of the network you get through participation of the Blue MBA.
We don't have a lot of times. By all means, write to me so I can give you some examples. But the network is that you provide the network. I mean, I can give you an example, but I mean, it's going to be taking, these are people who are doing a lot of work together. A lot of them are in management positions, and a lot of them open ways for businesses within the student body. You see a lot of business being done in the classroom. So, which is of the benefit to the companies which send their participants to their employees to our class.
Okay, thank you. Irene, have you had to reject any people who applied for the Blue MBA?
Oh yes, of course. I mean, yeah, of course, because yes, we do.
So there has to be some certain background and yeah, from the industry or from sailing before you can apply.
Right. I mean, you have to have a bachelor's degree. This is a requirement, but we always say bachelor's or equivalent to bachelor. So if somebody comes to the program and does not have a bachelor and has done a lot of short courses and has 15 years of management experience, of course I accept this person. Yeah. You have to have 2 recommendations. You have to have an interview. And for our program, we accept all the people who have done who are chief engineers or master mariners. We accept those people. Yeah.
Okay. So there's another question. The industry has indeed changed over the past 20 years. So how do you see the Blue MBA? How has it changed its content over those years?
Every year. I mean, this is not, we have started it 20 years ago, but if you bring my students from 4 years ago, the program that we are running currently is not going to be the same as they had. Now, we are looking at COVID. For example, we are looking at how do we do risk assessment if something like COVID happens? How do we do situation with we have changed so much with the blockchain, cybersecurity, big data. Of course, we are doing all this. Now, the IT has been digitalization has been accelerated with this COVID situation. And of course, we are going to make sure that that is reflected into our program. This program is like, I always have said that this program is like a river. You have to run with it. It's not like a little pond that you can stand and look at it. You have to run with it to reach the ocean. And that's what we do. We are very current, that's what they said, yeah.
Yeah, so it's changing along with the industry. Yeah. What classes or modules at the Blue MBA do you think that is the most popular amongst the students?
they're also interrelated, and of course
Mhm.
they're all very popular, because if you really want to be successful in this program, you make sure that you get all these little, it's like a jigsaw, and you have to have all the pieces to put the picture together. So I cannot tell you that
Okay.
one is better than the other.
No, 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 no. It's just maybe the students, they find something more interesting.
But they
Yeah,
find it more interesting to go out and have dinners when we are in Germany, because they're
yeah,
all somewhere which, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So you mentioned that this is the first class education, and can you see how many international students are applying for the Blue MBA in Copenhagen?
Uh, yeah, well, when you look at the student body that we have today, as I said, they're coming from 20 plus different countries. So yes, it is very international. But I mean, then you look at the participants who is Danish, but he's been living and working in Singapore forever. So I mean, how do you recognize that? Is that a Danish participant, or is it this
Mm-hmm.
person from? I always have looked at this. I mean, the program is very international, but the shipping industry is very international. It doesn't really matter what kind of a passport you hold. You are a member of a global family. So yeah, the program is very international. The high percentage of the people are coming from abroad.
Yeah. So during the COVID-19, how did you manage to continue the education? Was it has it been online?
It has been a pain, but and we were in a situation we couldn't do anything, so we had to move some of the modules online. But because the networking is so important, people want to see each other and work together. People accepted it, but they would have preferred to be in person. I have now organized some extra lectures after people have graduated. I want them to come and do the networking and do some more short development courses, so that we can make up for the time that they lost. But yes, we did some online, but the intention is for the next class not to go online.
Okay, so this is not an education you can prepare for to do on the distance.
It's not. I mean,
No.
if you are forced to do it, of course, it's possible to do it, but it's the second best. The best thing is for people to be face to face.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it sounds like a network is one of the major points in this education. Okay. Irene, that is actually all the questions I got in. But I will, of course, share this presentation with the audience afterwards, and you can find it on our webpage. And I will share your email address, Irene, so they can get in touch with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So thank you so much, Irene, for your beautiful presentation. And I hope that all of you are encouraged to apply for the Blue MBA. Um, at our website, you can read much more about it, and you can find the information and help to apply for funding also for this education. Otherwise, you can always call or write to Kim, and I will also share his email. So that's all from my side, and I want to say have a great weekend to all of you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. It has been a joy. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.